Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back to another Scrap 5 challenge. This challenge today will be from Kelsey to use these items you see on your screen, and I am so excited to share it with you guys. I am going to be doing lots and lots of stamping on my layout today. I'm also going to be using 3 photos on my layout, and I can cross off one of the items on my list, which is to use an animal photo or embellishments, because I am using those 3 photos of my daughter's hamster. His name is Fluffy, and I printed those photos about 4 by 4 inches each, leaving just a little white border all the way around. So for my layout, I am going to use this fall themed collection from Close to My Heart, and I am staying away from the reds and the oranges and trying to use the neutral colors. Now we're going to be using 3 different colors or more on our layout, and right away I'm going to choose this wood grain here, which is the mocha color that we offer, and I'm also going to be using this pattern paper here, which features the toffee color. So that's 2 colors already, and I'm just pointing to the zip strip there because I know I want to remove that and use it on my layout as well. I will go ahead and introduce a 3rd color later on. And isn't that leaf pattern really pretty? But of course, this is not a fall themed layout, so I'm not going to add any of those to this project. I also pulled out 2 sheets of cardstock for my base, and I decided to go with the white daisy. So for the challenge to use an ink pad actually, on your layout, I am going to be using it together with lots of different stamps today. The first one I pulled out would be this really awesome stamp set from Close to My Heart, and you can see there's a lot of mark making stamps on the set, as well as some splatters and brush marks, and the one on the bottom is the one I'm going to use right now. So I'm going to use it together with the toffee colored ink pad and add a border all the way around my layout. So I'm just adding some scrap paper on the bottom so it doesn't get on my mat. I'm going to add it just to the edge of that pattern paper of my cardstock, not pattern paper. And I'm just using this really awesome tool I just got from Amazon. I'm going to link it down in the description box, but it gives you a really nice way of adding some even pressure when your stamp block is wide or large. And instead of using my hand, which I'll show you, you can use as well. If you do not have that tool, you just use your hand and just kind of press against the stamp block across your stamp just to get some even pressure, make sure it's transferred nicely. But that stamp tool works really, really well. I love it. Now I will link that tool along with everything else that I used today on this layout down in my description box. I will also go ahead and link everyone that's participating in the hop today down in the description box as well. So be sure to go on over, check out their layouts using all of these items as well. So here I'm going to go ahead and cut some strips from my pattern paper. I'm going to cut about a 2 by 12 inch piece from that wood grain paper, and from this one I'm going to cut 3 by 12 inch, 2 strips of that. I'm also going to remove the branding strip, which I really love and wanted to use on this layout. So here I want to make sure I remove about 1 inch off these strips because I want to see that border that I added on my white cardstock earlier. And let's not forget to remove 1 inch off the branding strip as well. Now for my inspiration for this layout, I am using this pattern book here. It's called Make It From Your Heart. I think this might be volume 3 or volume 4. I'm not quite sure. I can't see it here. It's too far away, but that's the layout I'm using. And in this book, it gives you the exact measurements and dimensions and everything for your project. I am just loosely following it, of course, today, adding my own ideas as well. So now to define my strips before adding them to my background, I'm going to use this sponge here, which I cut from a round sponge. I just cut it into wedges, and I'm using part of it to ink the edges of this lighter pattern paper. So once I add it to that white background, you can still see it on the background. It's not going to be lost on that white cardstock. And I am using the Mocha ink pad to do the inking. So I decided to go ahead and go around my entire cardstock as well to define the edge there, and it made that stamping we did earlier pop a lot more, as you can see here. But I wanted just a tiny bit more, so I'm going to go around the entire layout once again and darken it up just a little bit more. And you can see what a difference it made. It just livened up that background a lot more than if you left it uninked. Of course, if this is not the look you're going for, it's certainly fine to leave it as it was. So now I'm going to use my T-square ruler just to help me line up my strips nice and straight on my background. And here I'm going to use it once again to make sure there's an even distance between all of these strips on the background. So here I'm adding in the third strip. And I believe next up I am going to work on my photos. So here I have my 3 photos. I'm not going to add them straight across. You can see I'm tilting them just a little. Now in the photo in the center, there's a little blue, something blue in the background of that photo. So I wanted to be able to hide it. So I'm just going to tuck it behind the photo that's to the right. And I love how they look like that. So I'm going to work now on my embellishment clusters. So for this collection, there is a sticker sheet that comes with the paper pack, and you can see a lot of it, of course, is going to be fall themed, but there are some elements in there that can work for any theme at all. So I'm pulling out some of the flags right now, the banners, and you can see I added in a third color there. It's the shortbread color, but it's the darker version of it. So I removed that small one and I pulled out a lighter version of the shortbread instead, which I think blends in a lot nicer with this background. So that would be, let's see, that's the third color that I needed to add in to my layout for the challenge. So I'm just going to mess around right now with these banners until I like how they look and trim off the excess. So here I'm going to add some more stamping. I am going to add my title using some alpha stamps. I'm not sure which of these are still available. If they are, I will add them to the description box below. But I decided just to go ahead and stamp directly on my background using the Mocha ink pad, and it stood up really great against that pattern paper. You can definitely see the title really clearly. I am using this scripty font, so I wasn't really concerned too much about it being lined up nice and straight. If it was a little wonky, since these alphas were bouncy and scripty, I think it worked. It worked really well. Now for the second part of my title, it says the hamster, so it says Fluffy the hamster. I'm using a smaller alphabet here. Really small alphabet stamp, and I'm gonna go ahead and add in the word the. And for hamster, I'm gonna start with the letter S under the letter H, and then go ahead and add the other letters in. That way it's a little bit centered, not exactly, but it's centered enough that it looks well. So far you can see we use quite a lot of ink on this layout, did a lot of stamping already, and we're not done. We're gonna do some more stamping in just a little bit. Now on our alphabet stamp set, sometimes there are really cute little icons, and I hardly ever use those. I use them mostly for the alphas. But today I decided to pull off one of those stamps and use it next to my title. The only thing I wish I would have done is just have it a little straighter than it is. There's a little curve to it, but I think it still looks really well on the layout. It blended in really nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Toffee ink. Now for the title I did use, let's see, I did use Mocha, and for this stamp I'm gonna use Toffee. So adding that in next to the title, I wanted to bring it in on other areas on the layout just to tie it all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it to the top right corner of the photos where I know I wanted to add an embellishment cluster. And I'm gonna add it right to the top of that pattern paper there. And next I'll add it next to the flags that's on those banners that's on the top left. Now if you guys enjoyed this process today, be sure to give me a thumbs up before you leave. Go ahead and click on that like button below. And also, if you're not already subscribed, take a look around my channel. If you love my videos, if you enjoy them, find them helpful, be sure to click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way you'll be notified once I upload new videos. So here I'm gonna pull in that manufacturer strip we trimmed off before, the zip strip. I'm gonna just cut a banner towards the end of it and add it to the bottom right of the layout where I will be adding in my journaling spot later on. Now for that journaling spot, I'm gonna use this wood grain piece. Now we're gonna be using wood veneers on our layout today. I decided to use these that look like wood veneers, but they're actually very thin. These are from Close to My Heart. They give you the look of wood veneer, but very, very thin and not as bulky on your layout. So I had this here very close by, and I decided why not pull this into my layout. So I'm going to use that little piece there on the bottom for my journaling, and I also pulled in some buttons as well. So I wanted to add more of that zip strip, so I'm going to use the second pattern paper, because you do get 2 of each pattern paper here in this paper pack. So I'm going to remove the second zip strip there to add it to the top part of my layout. And I also added in a border strip from the sticker sheet that I guess got deleted by mistake. Here I am also going to bring in another strip of the toffee pattern paper as well. Of course, I am going to ink the edge of it with the mocha before adding it to my background. I just felt the top part of that layout, I wish I would have scooted everything up just a tiny bit, because that white empty space on the top was really bugging me after everything was already adhered to the background. So I'm just going to try to fill it in right now with these strips. So here I'm going to do some more stamping using the splatter stamp from the same set that I used to create that border all the way around my layout. And if you're afraid of splatters at all, you think they're really messy, this is the way to go. A stamp that gives you these splatters will be perfect. You can see here I'm using the entire stamp or just the edge of it to add tiny little splatters. I am twisting and turning it so it won't look the same everywhere I add it. I'm just going to fill in some areas around my embellishment clusters with those splatters. So now I wanted to bring in my third color, which would be the shortbread color. and there was only one heart sticker on that sticker sheet in that color. So I decided to pull out my shortbread cardstock and use my punch there to create some embellishments for my background, for my layout. So now I want to add just a few word phrases around, and I'm pulling in another one of these wood veneer pieces to add to the top cluster there. And I wanted to add the word happy from the stamp set. Now this stamp set is our stamp of the month for September. You can get that stamp for as low as $5 with a qualifying purchase, and if you are a VIP customer, you get it completely free. So be sure to check out my website to get more information on how you can get this stamp set at those prices, because it's a really beautiful stamp set. I will be using it more this month and sharing it on my Facebook page, which you can find in my description box if you want to follow me there and see what I do with it. So I'm going to use it to add the word happy on that tab. And I will also pull in another stamp set. So far we used 3 different stamp sets on this layout. But really simple stamps, word phrases, and mark making. And look at the impact that it made on this layout. I'm going to pull out the word that says memories from this fall stamp set, the second set here. And this stamp set you're looking at, it does come with thin cuts as well. It's optional, which will help you cut out all of those really awesome leaves on this set. But like I said, I'm just going to use the word memories today. I'm going to use the color toffee once again to stamp on that wood veneer piece that I'm going to add my hand journaling on. So I think so far we covered, let's see, I covered using ink, using the photo or embellishment of an animal, 3 or more colors, I got that, and wood veneer, I also got that. So the last thing would be to add handwritten journaling. So now before adding on my hearts, I am going to use the Mocha once again to ink the edges of those hearts so they don't get lost on the background and you can see them on this layout. And once I have them all inked up, I will use my liquid adhesive to go ahead and adhere them all down around my clusters. Now that piece that you see, the scalloped piece you see on the top right corner cluster, that is from the sticker sheet. So here I'm just placing my hearts and adhering them down. And here I'm adding in my journaling that says, meet Fluffy, the fat hamster, that's what my daughter calls him. Steph's pet that joined our family as a complete surprise to mom on, and I do need to go and put the date there that he became a member of our family. So here to fill in that space even more on the top there, I'm gonna add a few more splatters just to extend a little bit more towards the center of the layout, which helps it look a little bit more complete. And I decided to go ahead and add a second banner there to the top as well. So I hope you guys enjoy the process. Here is a close-up look at my layout. And you can see how much you can do with stamps on your layouts and what a big impact they made. Even creating your title using your stamps as well. This layout was really fast and easy to come together. It's really simple, but I absolutely love how it looks. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I want to thank you all for watching today. So until my next video, bye.